What the fuck is going on, everyone? I'm Mr. Elag, and today I'm going to be talking about trade school jobs, in particularly plumbers. Now, if you guys don't know what trade school jobs is or what trade school is, what it is pretty much like a place you go to learn. Well, trade school is a place you go to learn trade school jobs, and trade school jobs can go in a range of being an electrician, being a construction worker, learning how to do mechanic work, learning how to fix heating and cooling. Sometimes there's a little bit of if you want to learn nursing skills, they have some of that too. But what I'm going to talk about in today's video is plumbers, and particularly plumbers in a nutshell. So let's get down to what the fuck a plumber does. Now, when you think of plumbers, I think most of us can think of, Mario and Luigi. They're plumbers, but what the fuck do they do exactly? Not just the video games, characters that are based on, because let's be real, though Mario and Luigi are plumbers, they sure as shit don't act like them. But they do, but, most plumbers are not fighting evil dragons and shit and going into fucking acid, inducing trip lands. Like, holy shit. Like, looking back at Mario, that whole game was a fucking acid trip. But back to my point. What a plumber does is, a plumber is somebody that fixes, your bathroom problems. Let's say you got a toilet clog, boom, you call a plumber. Your fucking sinks on the fritz, call a plumber. Something wrong with your bathtub, you call a plumber. Something wrong with your pipes in your bathroom, you fucking call a plumber. So point is, a plumber is essentially somebody that, manages your restroom problems. If you have a problem with your restroom or something's not working in your bathroom, you call a plumber. And in my personal opinion, I think being a plumber is one of the most dirty fucking jobs anybody can ever have. Because 95% of the work is you shoving a stick in a toilet and just praying you don't get piss or shit flown at you. Woohoo! Oh, hi, Plumber Man. Hey, everyone. So that guy right there, that's Plumber Man. He's a plumber, as his name suggests. And yeah, he does plumbing stuff and shit. If you need to know anything about a plumber, this is your guy. I had him on the show because, I thought it'd be fun to bring him on here, to help me talk about plumbers because, he knows a fuck ton about plumbers, given, he's the Plumber Man. But yeah, anyway, he also has a brother called, Electrician Bro. But, his brother, Electrician Man or Electrician Bro, he goes by both. He's not with us today, he's doing some shit in his, van to help people with their electricity and what the fuck have you. So I got Plumber Man today. And I just need Plumber Man today because, I don't need Plumber Man's little fucking brother because, this video is about plumbers in a nutshell. And I need a plumber to help me talk about that shit. So that's why I got Plumber Man right here. But yeah. So to make a long story short, Plumber Man's, in this episode, and he's going to talk to us about and help me explain plumbers and shit. How about that, Plumber Man?
Yes, sir. Love the plumbing, love the plumbing.
Well, thank you for that lovely, speech, Plumber Guy. Anyway, before we get on to the top 3 things a plumber should be worried about, from Plumber Man, I want to say a few short words about the fact that this channel is almost at 200 subscribers. We're at 160 subscribers right now. We are so close to hitting 200. And once we hit 200 subscribers, I will release the 200 subscriber special video. So if you haven't already, this is a quick reminder to subscribe, so that way we can get to 200 subs really quick. And I plan to do a really good special when we hit 200 subs. So, as I said, quick reminder, if you haven't already, subscribe because we are so close to 200 subscribers. Like 40 subscribers left. We're at 160, we only need 40. So, if you're someone that's just started to watch my videos, or new to the channel, or a continuous person who hasn't subscribed yet, subscribe. If you're new, subscribe. If you're a continuous person that's come to my channel but doesn't know too much about me yet, subscribe. I'm letting make you laugh and shit. And, you know, just in general, if you're just some rando, just subscribe to my channel and shit, because, you know, it's for free, and it doesn't hurt you. Anyway, now to Plumber Man. Take it away.
3 things you should be worried about in plumbing is the customer. Sometimes when you're a plumber, you're going to meet a customer that sucks in an ass and is a dickhead. So be careful about the customers you're dealing with a plumbing, man. The second thing you gotta worry about as a plumber is all the shit and piss you got to scrape from the potty and shit. And you gotta go, Number 3, the third thing you gotta be worried about as a plumber is make sure you're not showing the customer your plumber ass, because no customer wants to see your asshole.
Thank you, Plumber Man, for telling us those enlightening examples, because if I were a plumber, I sure as shit would be worried about those 3 things. But back to the topic of plumber crack, or, you know, a plumber's crack. The issue, you know, that every time, you know, I've had a plumber come over, you know, it's the same shit. They're fixing the leaks and what have you, and meanwhile, while they're doing it and you're telling them what to do, they got their fucking ass cheeks hanging out. Like, you know, Plumber Man's right. Like, plumbers have to do a better job at not showing their ass to their customers. Because when I need my sink or my toilet fixed, you know, I want the person doing it with his pants on, not off. No homo shit. But point is, you know, I pay you to fix my toilet, not to show your bare ass at me. You know, and that's something that really kind of grosses me out about plumbers, is like, why do they all do that? Like, just show their fucking ass cheeks at you while they're working on you. It makes no sense. And I get it. It's like, okay, I kind of get it. You're working on a toilet, so butts and shit. But at the end of the day, you're not taking a shit. You're not using the bathroom. You're fixing my bathroom. Big difference. And, you know, as a customer of somebody that wants to have my plumbing service done on my bathroom for whatever reason, I want to pay you to fix my bathroom, not to show me for you to like fucking moon me. And yeah. But now I'll get back onto a different topic. And it's the fact that, you know, a lot of these, you know, big companies, you know, they don't really pay their plumbers real well, and that's a big problem I think with a lot of blue-collar workers. There's a lot of blue-collar workers, a lot of people that hire them are really fucking stingy, and, you know, that's bullshit for them because, well, you know, without plumbers, you know, our you know, bathrooms and toilets and shit would never work, and, you know, that'd be a big fucking problem. Especially for somebody that's like 600 pounds and is consistently on the toilet, and that, you know, needing to take a shit, needing to, you know, do whatever because they medically can't live without the bathroom, and that's going to be a big fucking problem for that person. But I digress. And the other stuff that I find personally gross about plumbers is the fact that 90% of the time, you know, you're dealing with people's waste. And it's just the thought of that, you know, having to, you know, potentially put your entire hand into some sewage system and there's a good chance you're touching shit, people's piss, and it's just, just the thought of that is just, yeah, fuck that. And it's kind of why I got a lot of respect for people that do really fucking dirty jobs, like being a garbage man, you know, doing plumber work. You know, if you're doing someone that has a job that's really fucking down and dirty and shit, like, you know, trash man, you know, plumber, like prostitute, male stripper, like, you know, you have a really fucking dirty job like that, you know, I give you credit where credit is doing shit. Like 9 out of 10 of times, like these jobs, you know, there's a good chance you're gonna get some fucking rare ass disease and start fucking COVID all over again. And yeah. But honestly, Plumber Man, I like to hear more of what you have to think. What else do you have to tell the audience about plumbers and shit? Because at the end of the day, you're the go-to guy in the knowledge of plumbing and plumbers and what have you. So, do you like it or fuck it? Your choice. What do you have to say, Plumber Man?
About being a plumber, you gotta pay the good money. You can work in the toilet, you work in the sink, you work in the bathtub, you work in the bathroom, and most importantly, you gotta drink the toilet water. I love drinking the toilet water. Ah.
Look, no disrespect, Plumber Man. I admire your passion for plumbing and doing that shit. But, at the end of the day, I still strongly believe that being a plumber is a disgusting job where you're going through people's waste and feces and what have you. And it's a career path that I would never in a million fucking years follow because of how repulsive it is. But that's just me.
You know the what, Mr. Elag? You are a cunt.
Okay, well, first of all, fuck you, dude. Go eat a bag of dicks. And second of all, aren't you gonna be late for your appointment you have? Didn't some store say that they need a plumber?
Mama fucking me, I'm gonna be late. Woo-hoo!
Plumber Man, get the fuck out of here. Fucking pussy. Faggot little ass bitch.